I mean, with the agents that you're helping now, is that a common challenge? Is like, maybe you can share a little bit about how you reinvest back into your practice and how you try to get other agents to understand the value of actually reinvesting back into themselves.
Yeah, so I think a light bulb went off probably about a year ago constructing our LOA program. So LOA gets like a bad rap in our industry because
Yeah.
most people take advantage of it. But getting the agents to conceptualize whether or not they're profitable, but on my dime. So yes, you're going to get a reduced compensation structure because I'm paying for the leads and the marketing and everything like that. But constructing training wheels for them to see, hey, if I go to the broker side in 12 to 18 months or 24 months or whatever it is, will I be in the black every single week if I had elevated comp and I was paying for the leads? Because to your point, Roy, most people fail out of this business because they aren't spending any money. They think that if they make $1,000 on a sale, that it took them 80 hours to accomplish because they finally closed their uncle. That's more ROI positive than them swiping their Chase credit card for $2,500 and then go writing 10 or 15,000 right on their own pen. And it's a weird mentality that everybody's in. And I'm sure you felt it because I felt it back in the day. It was like, what do you mean I got to spend to make? I'm paying to work. Like, I get it. But at the end of the day, you're starting a business. And for us in the insurance space, this is the cheapest business that you could possibly start. You're not getting a brick and mortar. You're not slinging ice cream or tacos or the Honda Civics. You need to invest a couple $1,000 maybe your first month for licensing, marketing, maybe a nice dress shirt, and that's really it. And you're off to the races. But most people are failing because they're not spending. And I post all over social, and I know you have been too. Like, if you're not dropping at least bare minimum, like $1,500 to $2,500 a month on some sort of lead resource, whether it's your own ads, and I could go off on a tangent about being your own marketer because I think it's a royal waste of time. But whether it's your own ads, you're buying leads, you're doing seminars, whatever, if you don't have that 20 to 30 grand set aside in your mind to spend on an annual basis, you're not going to make it. And this job is too stressful to think that way. You might as well just go be a manager at Target and make 55, 65 grand a year and not have stress. You know what I mean? Because me and you are stressed out all the time,
I live on the brink of an anxiety attack every day, man.
Yeah. A minor one,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That, putting the money back into the practice is huge. And that's the problem that a lot of these agents have. They're just too scared to do that. They think they could just go to their own center of influence. Like, all the time, agents will say, okay, I'm going to get my license. And I talk about, like, you want to open up a McDonald's, like, you have to have like $1 million in reserve. It's a huge franchise fee. Here, all you got to do is pass a license. In most states, everybody gets a trophy, like 60, 70%. And the questions aren't even that hard. And yeah, you spend a couple grand to get set up. It's tax deductible. And then you have your own individual practice. And a lot of people don't treat it that way. It's like, this is your own business. And like, would you hire yourself? Probably not. You got to get better. And, if you just keep putting that money back into it, it does scale and grow. But there is that hoping time frame, like, oh man, I hope this does work out. But that's where the confidence in yourself comes into. And ultimately, I tell these agents all the time, like, what's the worst thing that can happen? You get some credit card debt, maybe a ding on your credit score. Sure. Okay. Well, you can survive it. You can recoup it. Our entire country is built on debt and bankruptcy anyway. So you can survive it, and then use your wife's credit to buy a house if you have to.
Right.
It's like, this business is not for everyone. Neither is entrepreneurship, but you have to make a choice. Like, do you want to just be an employee W-2? That's fine. And a lot of people are comfortable with that. But if you're in the space of being an agent, you are a business owner. And what do you want to do with your business? Do you want to get to the point where you're 75 or 80 years old and go, oh shit, I wish I would have done that. Now you've given up all the time, right? I mean, It's never too late to start, but you have to ask yourself, like, if I don't do this, then what will happen in the future? And if you see other people doing it that have become successful, that started from nothing, like I slept in my truck and passed out flyers and door knocked about 7702 IRC tax code, tax-free retirement. And you got to start somewhere and actually do that. And I think a lot of agents, especially today with you got TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. It's instant gratification. They expect it to take, oh, I'm going to be successful right away. Dude, it took me 5 years before I made 6 figures in this business. And there's a lot of other success stories out there. People hit it in 3 months, a year. God bless you. That wasn't me. But don't have that anticipation coming in here. I always tell agents, if you're investing back in your practice and you're buying leads, you could make, say, 50 grand your first full-time year if you're 100% focused on it, and then it'll scale from there. But don't expect to walk in here and make a few $100,000 unless you have a rich uncle that lets you sell them an annuity or something. That would be great. But other than that, you have to give it a lot of time. And that's the other short-sightedness of this, is the patience factor. People don't have the patience, and agents complain, and then they blame you. They blame me. They blame the leads. I love that. Oh, these leads suck. I always send them that Glenn Ross. The leads aren't weak. You're weak,
100%.
Yeah.